No offense intended. Do people with prosthetic limbs remove or keep them on during intercourse? What would the benefits or drawbacks to either be? A friend of mine many years ago always took her leg off. She said it was uncomfortable and a distraction. One of my exes had her leg amputated below the knee. Usually she kept the prosthetic on unless stuff started happening when we were already in bed and she had taken it off. From what she told me, putting the prosthetic on was sort of an annoying process, so it was just easier for her to keep it on if we were getting busy during the day. I have a right side below knee amputation. It really depends on the timing and situation. Spontaneous. Already in bed? Not going to put it on. Spontaneous anywhere? Not gonna bother removing it. Planned playtime? That depends on what we are going to be doing. I mostly take it off unless I will be standing or need the leverage. YMMV edit. Wow. Thank you all so much. Who knew amputee sex would garner so much attention outside of adult film? My uncle lost his right arm during military service. Who lived with us for several months when I was a kid. Once he brought a girl back when everyone else was out. And I got home early. I saw his prosthetic arm lying on the floor, entangled by a bra. I noped out so fast. I hate to share a similar thought, but was there a time when clothes were coming off and you assumed they knew there were prosthesis involved, but then they said, "What the fuck is that?" Quote. Sometimes. It really depends on what we are doing. I'm a double below the knee amputee. Sometimes I leave them on, sometimes I take them off. It all depends on the scenario. I can't help but visualize the girl from Kingsman and her feet, swords. I once hooked up with a girl with a below-the-elbow amputation. She was self-conscious about it and asked if she could leave her prosthetic on, which was absolutely fine with me. Until it started making the farting noise. Have you ever stuck your fingers in the putty stuff you can get from dollar stores? That farting noise. After a good laugh. We were okay without the prosthetic. Not quite a prosthetic limbs. But I'm deaf and I have a cochlear implant. Basically like a hearing aid for people with no hearing. And I take it off for sex because it keeps falling off. My ex-girlfriend had her foot amputated after an accident. But she always took the prosthetic off when going to sleep, and so it wasn't different when having sex. That was also no kind of a problem. My husband has both legs amputated below the knee and takes his off for both sleep and sex for comfort reasons. I can't remember the exact story, but my stepdad was in college and got hammered in Atlantic City. And brought some girl back to his hotel with him, and when they were getting jiggy with it, she ripped off 2 prosthetic legs and threw them across the room, and he was so confused but didn't know what to do, so he said fuck it, and apparently it was a wild time. He tells it better. Dated a girl with a prosthetic below the knee. At first she would not completely remove her jeans, leaving her prosthetic on. Later in our relationship she removed it. I have never met someone with a prosthetic anything that hasn't tried to drink alcohol out of their prosthetic. I don't think you're in much danger of offending. I cannot confirm or deny how accurate this is, but the movie Monkey Shines may be relevant to you. My son says off. Otherwise it's like wrestling with a cement block tied to your leg. Above the knee amputation here. I had a pretty cool prosthetic leg. But after years of trying to walk normal, I had to accept as was just too heavy for my body. Literally. Most days it was a relief to put it off after school, work. And when it came to chillin' and intimacy I took it off. My leg is off now. All the time. I can pretty much do anything on my crutches. I will let you know what I keep on if I ever get laid again. Former brothel worker and outcall person here. Some didn't. Some did. One had a kink for me playing with it. It didn't affect me much either way. Just treat it like anything else. Be aware and read signals about what they're comfortable with. I work in the prosthetic business and I have never asked or been told. Born with most of my right foot missing. Used to keep the prosthesis on during sexy time until I met my husband who thinks it silly not to. Just be my free self. He's a keeper. No amputations here, but I am a nurse that's had many patients with amputations. While we never discussed such things, most of them would remove their prosthetic legs if not actively walking or standing. I'm not an amputee, but my brother, through service, is. We were both Afghanistan veterans. He told me it depends on position. Certain positions he has balance issues. I have a prosthetic arm. I take it off so I don't smash it on the lady when's going at it. That thing could hurt. I'm 6'4". I can manage any girl with just one arm. Grin edit. This is me, by the way. http://imager.com/cnpshv6.jpg. I once gave my mum a new prosthetic leg for Xmas. It was just a stocking filler. I am a RBKA. Right below knee amputee. The shoe on my prosthetic foot is quite hard to take off and put on. So I wear it all the time. Including in the house. If I leave it on, then I would have my shoe in the bed. Gross. I have all the same mobility and leverage with it off as on, so it is not missed. I've been a Redditor for a minute now. And AskReddit is the reason I made an account. This is truthfully one of the more original questions I've seen on here. Bravo Zulu. Fellow Reddit user. There is a pretty clear consensus in this thread. Off. I've never thought to ask, but now that you do, I'm genuinely interested in the answer. Finally, a question I can answer. I wear prosthetics on both of my legs. Generally. If at home, in bed, etc. I take them off because it's so much easier. I can take them on and off in like 1.5 minutes, so it's never a problem. As you, did I ask for cheese mentioned? If anywhere else or in need of leverage, I keep it on. It is more comfortable without. That's for sure. But not a huge game changer. My prosthetic foot is 0% cozy. What with the carbon fiber, titanium and stainless steel. So unless I need it for leverage or, standing, it's coming off with the pants. Cold sweat smile. Below the knee amputee. Used to keep it on for self-conscious reasons. It fell off once during and I got over it pretty quick lol. It's far more comfortable without. Probably the same thing as whether or not you keep your socks on. Tangentially related is that song Detachable Penis by King Missile holds up pretty well. Relevant, detachable penis. https://youtube.be/bitalarnbm4 . Takes off pants, puts on prosthetic chainsaw. Hail to the king, baby. I feel there is some general wisdom to be gleaned from reading these responses. Many things depend on an anticipated or spontaneous event. Also, bring condoms if you're a dude and even consider the chance of having sex. I had to get my left leg amputated 2 years back after a soccer injury. Guys, it's 2021. The possibilities are endless. A little search on Google opened my eyes to dildo prosthetics. Now my girl enjoys 2 dicks at once. Think about the future when we have super cool biometric prosthetics. Those bastard will be able to turn their fingers onto vibrate mode. How are we meant to compete then? As a double below the knee amputee, I do remove them before sexy times usually. Since those are not a full part of your body, they become rather uncomfortable deadweight at the moment. You do require them when doing it standing though for obvious reasons. One part is an inanimate useless object flapping and flopping around and the other part is the prosthetic. Now I want to know how it would feel like to be strangled by a girl with robotic hands. Damn, there are a lot more amputees on Reddit than I ever thought. Bonus information if you're interested. An acquaintance told me that in some cases, the stump left over from limb removal can be incredibly erogenous. In some cases to an overwhelming extent. As a writer with amputee characters, this thread just answered a whole bunch of questions I thought would never get answers. Tears of joy, sparkling heart. My mate had an ex with only one leg. Apparently it made car sex really convenient. If you don't keep it on, your date might throw it in the chimney, and it gets weird when you date his roommate Chandler. Take them off a fake. They sleep with them off. So I'd assume they got sexy with it off. Also, wouldn't the metal be cold? That seems uncomfy. This instantly reminded me of Arrested Development and Buster's prosthetic hand. Tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy.